Hi. I was just wanted to talk to everyone today. You know, I made another video about this shit since it first started going down about a week ago now. And I just don't have a lot to say about the subject. I know it's near to me, but it's not directly affecting me anymore. I'm okay. A lot of my friends and family have been hurt by it, but I'm okay. But there's not much else I can say. I've been out of the loop. I've cut myself off. I've moved on. But before I completely close this book on caring about this subject matter entirely, excuse me, I was going through my family's attic. Not attic. It's like a closet. We are going through our closet essentially, old documents and stuff. Because my dad is a print journalist originally. I know you're thinking journalist. What scum? But I used sports. He was in sports reporting, so not exactly the realm that we're used to. It's not really the same thing. It's like stats, statistics, and analysis and stuff like that. Not really the same thing. But whatever the case, um, we were going through it. We found this letter that was written to my great grandparents, I believe, dated August 5th, 1977, 1 a.m. in the morning. Just ironic because it is 1 a.m. here. 43 years later, almost, maybe a couple months back, almost 45. A long, and I just thought this would be interesting read for you all here today. Here we go. Dear folks, it is very late and I am tired, but I just want to write a line or two to thank you for your most interesting letter and enclosures received yesterday. I have read everything very carefully indeed. I've never heard of the Shell Point Village Apartments. It seems to be almost built in a swamp. What happens if a terrific hurricane hits the place, or maybe the river it doesn't never gets any hurricane winds? I sold my car in 1970. I let my insurance expire, as well as my driving license. So no hope of my ever driving again. Hence, Florida is not a state I should move to if I have no transportation. My sister lives in Pompano Beach. I've not seen her since 1967. She says she will never drive to Chicago alone again. Going through Joliet that year, a gang of Negroes tried to curb her and scared her a lot. Joliet is now virtually a Negro town, I guess. And I won't leave my house long enough to go to Florida to see her. There's a mall in Oak Park, but it is a failure. The latest store to close is Lion on Healy. About 10 days ago, it closed and left a sign on the window to trade in their Wabash Avenue store in the Loop. When I go to the mall, I see lots of Negroes, young ghetto type, teenagers, badly dressed. 2 days ago, a Negro about 40 staggered across my path. He seemed to be on dope. What white people are going to trade in such a mall? The mall has seats, etc. And many white people go to the mall, and some sit on a park bench. But who wants to sit on a bench if some Negroes come along? I had to go down to the Loop yesterday. The big hotel in Garfield Park was burned out in the 1968 riots. Even the window frames have been taken out of the rear of the hotel now. Just the ruins standing there. No glass, no windows. I wonder what the inside looks like at around midnight. Probably dope parties, etc. Since I have no car, I never get near Garfield Park or Sears Holman Avenue location at all. Was in Sears Tower the other day to see some friends. Employees very disillusioned now. Some quitting after being there 18 to 22 years. I know the end is approaching for me up here. I do not know just which way to jump. To move out of this house will be simply staggering. But I cannot stay in it until I die or get disabled. I will be vandalized. It will be vandalized. My parents never could have forecast such an ending. And if it has been 36 and a half years since Mr. Clark died. Gilmore's are still standing vacant. The Scoville estate hires who have Gilmore's was a department store in the Chicago area at this time. Gilmore's still standing vacant. The Scoville estate heirs have defaulted on taxes, and the whole corner will be sold for taxes eventually unless they pay up. So they have to put up for sale other nearby properties. These heirs probably were living high on the hog for 50 years until Gilmore's folded and brought the house down on their heads. I do not make much use of the Oak Park Library, a very bright spot, still functioning very well. Your letter was written July 31st. On July 30th, I was 70 years old. So soon I shall catch up to you. Every good wish, John. I have no statement about that letter. I found it and I thought it was interesting and I thought I would read it to all you today. I hope it made you think about where you are in your life and what could be happening. Just remember that the tallest building in the world is owned by a company that what was once the tallest building in the world is owned by a company that is now bankrupt. People were predicting the death in the malls 40 years ago. And the 1968 riots were still not repaired a decade later. I want you all to remember that. And also, please don't ban me. I was reading a historical document. I did not say the nigger word in hatred. I said it as a form of historical record. Thank you and good night.